Welcome back. Today we're taking a look at some basic settings on your Studio Church website. To get here, you're going to log into Studio, click your structure, and then click on Settings. Now we're going to cover some of the most common settings that you might expect to use in your day-to-day updating and managing of the website. There are more settings here that we will give attention to. If you just check the Help section in your website, you'll see a complete documentation explaining every single field on each one of these settings. But in order to keep this brief, we're just going to hit the high points today. So very first thing I want to show you is general settings. This will show you your church and website name, your URL if you're using RSS feeds, your logo if you update it, your favicon, your basic contact information, and your footer text. You won't be updating very often in here, except for your announcement bar. So your announcement bar shows at the top of the page right here. This is our announcement bar on the demo site. And so you can show the announcement bar, you can set the text and the link you want it to go to. You can also set this to use the latest announcement from the announcements section, where you can pre-publish announcements, set them to expire automatically at a certain date. If you want to, rather than manually setting this, you can just use the latest announcement every time. There's also basic fields in here for audience measurement, Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, tools like that, if you are making use of those. So that's your general settings. Next, let's look at location settings. This will not be relevant unless you move, but this does power every single location block on your website. So if we come back here and take a look, this is a location block, and you can add them in multiple places on your website, and they all pull the same address from this location settings page. So let's say your church does have a change of address, maybe you're a church plant and you move to a new location. You can come in here, you can update the address. That's what will show up on the block. You can update the location right here with this edit button. This is what will show up in the map. So if your address changes, you can put in a new address right here and align the pin there, and that selects where your pin will show up on this page. And then finally, you can set a Google Maps link to link out to driving directions, as well as your meeting times. So you can set multiple meeting times, or you can just set one. If you have multiple services, multiple campuses, you can put that in here. That shows up, again, on the location block, as well as in the general SEO information about your site. Next, let's take a peek at navigation. There's a lot here, but the main thing I want to point out is your main menu. So this is the main menu of your site that shows up at the top here. And as you can see, we've got some submenus as well. So to add a menu link, it's super easy. You click Add Item, add the label that you want it, and then you choose where you want that link to go. It can go either to a page on your website, or it can go to an external URL, something like google.com, or it can even link directly to a file if you have a PDF or something like that that you want to link to. Once you've set that, you are good to go. So let's go ahead and link this to, I don't know, the membership page, just for fun. You can choose if you want that link to open in a new tab, and then you can add a drop-down menu below it if you want. So this is going to work exactly the same way, label, destination, whether you want it to open in a new tab, and that's how you can build out your submenus. So once you've added that, you can go ahead and click Publish, and we'll see our test menu item actually show up here on our site. So there we go. There's our test menu item there at the very end. There is an option if you want that last button to be emphasized or styled like a button, so that's there. And then there's an option to use a different footer navigation. If you have other links that you want to show in the footer, you can set a separate menu for the footer. There are more options in the navigation section, but I would encourage you to go check out our help documentation. We explain everything blow by blow. Now, the last thing we're going to look at here will be redirects. This is sort of an advanced feature, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. These are basically short links. So every time you change a page title or a resource title or an event title in Studio, it's going to automatically save one right here, or you can add them manually. And this is a way to add a short link like /Easter that eventually goes to a much longer link, something like, I don't know, events /Easter Sunday 2026, something like that. Something that's long and difficult to remember versus you can just tell your congregation, go to olivet.church /Easter, a short link essentially. So you can go ahead and publish this, and from now on /Easter will redirect to that longer page. Also, If anything on your site is ever stuck, if you're not seeing something publish, you'll often hear this troubleshooting tip from our support team. Hey, go in, add a redirect, and publish it because that triggers a full site rebuild. So we'll either ask you to do that or we'll actually do that as one of our first steps troubleshooting your site if something goes wrong. So those are some basic features from the settings page. Again, there's a lot more here. Do check out our help documentation. We have a full section for settings, and every single section has every field identified and explained. So there's all sorts of things that you can change in here, more than we can fit in this video. But as always, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact our support team, support@miraagency.com. We'd love to help.